Greetings, YouTube. Today I thought I'd talk about the movie Superman Man of Steel. This is not going to be a review, this is just some thoughts I had after having watched the film last weekend for the first time. My first thought was, do we really need another origin story? I think that the Superman origin story is known so well by Western culture and the world at large that it's practically in our DNA. Don't you think you could have done more with that time on screen with some other things? But that's just me. I think we've seen it enough times. Just like Spider-Man's origin story and so Batman's origin story. Okay, we get it. Let's move on. And I'm going to give Kal-El a wash on the damage he and Zod do to the Earth when they have their fights. Now, Zod, of course, doesn't care at all what happens to Earth. But Zod was part of a culture that genetically engineers its people for specific tasks. So he was engineered to be a warrior and then spent his entire life training as a warrior. Kal-El was trained as a handyman. Now, he's a super-powered handyman, but he has no training of any kind. Facing a person who has trained his whole life and is incredibly motivated to win. That has been his only task in life, is to protect his ideal of what Krypton is and defend the Kryptonian people in his own particular amoral manner. So I'm going to give Kal-El a wash on the damage they did. I'm also going to give him a wash on the fact that he killed Zod. Could have there been a better result to all this? Yes. But again, no training, no tactical or strategic concepts of what to do in this event. He's just a super guy. I'm going to give him a wash on that. It was really cool to see Jor-El kick some ass. That was fun. I enjoyed that. Now, he was genetically engineered to be a scientist. Okay, cool. What was Lara genetically engineered to do? Why wasn't her personality downloaded onto the ship, into that crystal, so that Kal-El would have both his mother and father as references? She was just like a background character. She was almost part of the scenery. It was horrible. I thought that was just completely and utterly underused and an opportunity to show that Krypton and Kryptonian culture wasn't as sexist as ours. But nope. The writers and director decided to just skip that one. The rest of my conversation is probably just going to be the stuff I think about Krypton and Kryptonians. Because I thought most of what took place on Krypton and the excuses and the quote-unquote history of Krypton and the Kryptonian people to be friggin' absurd. Alright, so first of all, they had a culture that spanned the stars for 100,000 years. And all of their colonies, every single solitary colony they had, died off. Bull. I am so sick of monocultures in science fiction and fantasy. Klingons, Vulcans, elves, dwarves, you name it. Huge orcs, huge monocultures. Every single member of of that race is the member of the same culture and society. That is such unbelievably lazy writing and bull. 100,000 years with advanced AI and nanotechnology to boot, and their entire colony system dies out. That's crap. They need energy for Krypton. Okay, cool. You get super science. That should be really easy. They decide to go the magnetap route. Okay, magma taps are possible. They've been used in science fiction before. There's no reason you can't use it. You don't need to do a lot of it. Very shallow, narrow shaft. Bring up some magma. Heat your generators. Good to go. But for some reason they decide to just, gut their planet's core? That's stupid. And let's ignore the fact that their sun still works. Yes, it's okay. It's not putting out as much energy as Earth's. Okay, fine. Our sun is brighter and shinier. That just means they need slightly more solar panels. If we on Earth had solar panels that covered a surface area, say, the size of Rhode Island, that would provide all the energy we need. For everyone. We could do that today. We just haven't. So if you have advanced nanotechnology and you're into super science kind of thing, with hyperdrives, you should be able to have solar panels on every single surface there is. And your energy needs are zero. You're done. That Krypton and their lame excuses and their absolute stupid crap that the society was supposed to have done just ruined this film for me. It was just stupid. You bring up all these great things, you have to take them to their logical conclusion. If you're just going to dump this crap on the film as set dressing, I am not going to take you seriously. You're being a lazy writer and a lazy director. Why should I, the audience, do all your friggin' work for you? I thought of these things seconds after they were introduced. I saw the conundrums. I saw the stupidity. Well, if you've got this, why aren't you doing that? If this is around in common, well, why aren't you doing X, Y, and Z? It's all incredibly simple to do if you have nanotechnology and advanced AIs. All those colonies could have been cared for by the AIs, even if all the people had died. But nope, they just decided to give up and die. Now they decided to go the Brave New World route, genetically engineering people. I'm not... Okay, live birth goes out of fashion. I think that's weird, but that's, again, monoculture, which pisses me off. They decided to do the whole, Matrix incubator underwater thing, which I thought was rather attractive, rather well done. All right, fine, you can do that kind of thing. But you still want genetic diversity. You still want to be surprised occasionally. You still want to make sure that some of your citizens are not designed for specific tasks, because sometimes jack of all trades are really important. Sometimes you want the people that are going to be the mongrels. Because sometimes you have something called hybrid vigor that may just well help your culture in a way that you had not planned for, because you can't plan for everything. So I thought that was horrible. It's horrible. The film had so much sexism in it. The film had so much stupidity as far as what the Kryptonians had and what they didn't do with it. It was just... Oh, and the whole turning Earth into Krypton, that was dumb. If you've got that technology, just build yourself some bases in space. You go terraform a planet that's within a couple of percentage points of Earth. You don't have to redo Earth. But we won't be super beings, so go to Mars! Go terraform Mars, it's empty. Alright, there's plenty of space in our system you could have used. You didn't have to just destroy the planet. You just wanted to. It was just silly, man. I also wasn't really invested in the characters. I didn't think it was a particularly interesting or a riveting film. It was a movie. And now I've seen it, and I may very well never watch it again. I thought the actor did a decent job playing Superman. I thought that the actress who played Lane did a good job. I can't remember her name off the top of my head. I've seen her before. She's pretty good. But they also did this stupid thing. They went big in the first film. You need to start a film series. You need to start small. Small, folks. You don't take off this huge literally earth-shattering storyline. You just start out small. You introduce a character, you let them get their legs under them. The second film, you do something bigger, more advanced. You prelude to the third film. The third film, you do something big. All right? This is some basic writing if you want to do a series. They did the same problem with Green Lantern. The Green Lantern, besides being a horrible film in general, they went big too fast. They needed to have him do small stuff first. Establish the character. Let it be a little lighter. Build up to the tone. At least they were smart enough to do that in Guardians of the Galaxy. They didn't threaten the entire galaxy for real. They threatened one real planet, one real culture. Was it big and splashy? Yeah, it's space opera. But they didn't tend to take on the entire universe. And they let it be cool and interesting, and we saw some character development, and they let enough space so there can be growth in the future. Sort of like Star Wars did. Alright, they're great films can do this. Great franchises can exist, but you can't go to the overture, the final overture in a symphony, in the first few notes. You don't do that. You have to build up towards it. And Superman didn't do that. Man of Steel didn't do that. But it was nice seeing Superman figuring out some of his powers, being a handyman, doing fishing and things like that. It cracked me up. The fact that he was a petty thief also cracked me up. I gave him a wash in that. The guy saved lives right and left. Who cares if he steals a few clothes? It just, I don't know. I was disappointed. It was pretty, but it was dumb. And I'm looking forward to hearing what people have to say. Because people take their comic book and their comic book movies very seriously.